Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. This is for Taurus. And if Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Taurus. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. And our card for tonight is the 8 of Pentacles. Or discs. I usually call it discs. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so... oh, I already did that part. It's all jumbled up. I have to tell you right off the bat here, I'm a little bit kind of, I've been watching the news, okay? Saturday night. So when you see this, and you know, if you've seen the news from Saturday, it just, I just am in my anxiety fear place a little bit. So I'm trying to get it together. I did some grounding and all of that, and so here we are, but doing the thing that I love, and that helps. It definitely does. Ooh, look at that. We have a big question mark right here. We also have a person with a hat on. Almost looks like Hermes. You can kind of see the wings, okay? Wearing kind of either maybe a dress or a long robe. It looks like we have a dog right here, kind of running in front of, or maybe sitting, being rode by the Hermes figure. And then we have over here a goat, okay? So really kind of a beautiful image. A beautiful image. And so I feel like there is a sense of travel, maybe with somebody you are very close with. When we have the dog, it really says to me that there's a sense of loyalty, of closeness, maybe like a best friend, a spouse, or a beloved one, and somebody who you can trust, and they definitely trust you as well. So I feel like there's this sense of kind of maybe you're going somewhere. I'm looking at the goat, so I'm wondering, does this have to do with work in some way? Maybe like a little business trip, or it could be that this is like maybe a family matter and you are traveling to kind of sort something out. I don't think that this is really like a vacation. It doesn't feel like a leisure kind of thing so much, but I do feel the sense of kinship, of a bond, and some kind of physical travel together. Now with that Hermes energy, we know this is the god of travel and the crossroads and all of that, but there's also a sense of kind of, I don't know, kind of learning together through a shared experience, kind of a message coming through, some kind of maybe emotional revelation. Now, the goat, okay, so I do feel like this is definitely maybe Capricorn energy, but for me, that really says something to do with the work, right? But it also, aside from kind of the Cappy energy, we have the goat, which is an animal that can traverse difficult situations, find footing where it feels like there is none, being able to figure things out when it feels like there are no options here, right? And strong and brave and silly at times, and all of these things. So I do feel you know, there is a degree of, I think, you kind of being in this maybe leadership role, right? And maybe that's within the friendship or the work, you know, whatever it is. But I think you're really good at kind of, okay, let's figure this thing out. Let's look at everything, lay it all down, and figure out what are we going to do here, you know, and making a good plan. So also we have that question mark, right? So I'm wondering kind of what is going on with this. What is the big question? I kind of want to... And I apologize, it's probably a little louder in here, but I had to turn on the AC for a little while because the house was really hot. And everybody was having a hard time going to bed. Okay, so we have a person standing over here with a heart over their head, okay? But I also see we have a person with a bow and arrow. So it kind of almost feels like there is a question of romantic love here. But I'm also looking at this and it looks like almost like a troll or a gremlin, a beast of some kind. You can see the body here. Like an ogre, or I don't know. But I do, if I'm looking at it, I'm thinking like, there's love, but there's almost this kind of hidden factor, right? I almost wonder if, usually you'd be like, okay, hopefully this person's not like secretly a monster or anything, but that's not what I'm reading it as. I feel like on your end, there's almost kind of something that has happened in your past, like way early in your life, or, you know, when you were young. And it's just so long ago, but I feel like there's almost this sense of feeling inadequate because of something that happened. And maybe it was, you know, something that was kind of a bad behavior, or maybe you got into some trouble, or you were doing things that you're not very proud of, or whatever it is. And there's this kind of fear that maybe there will, like, these people in your life, somebody in your life, somebody you love, or somebody who you are falling in love with, if they knew who you were really, they wouldn't love you. And I feel like that's how, like, you're feeling this way. I'm not saying that this is true, okay? And I think this is coming up because there is that question mark, and it's like, is this the case or not? And I feel like it's really, it's a perception that is pulled out of this old shame, but also feeling maybe lacking a little confidence in not the specific person, but just in the world, how people maybe like would react to, right? But here's the thing, is that I think that you really do love this friend, this spouse, or this person that you are, like I said, courting, or whatever it is. And I feel like they would care for you no matter what. They would love you no matter what. You know, within reason. But for this situation, I do feel like this is maybe more an issue with you needing to work through some of this stuff. And as I say that, the question mark fell. So there we go. It's resolved. I think that this is something that, if it is, you know, you're having a hard time talking to them about it, or revealing this part of your experience to them, it may be of some use to maybe see like a therapist or a counselor or some kind of guidance with somebody who is an uninvolved third party. Okay. You know, I think it's really important that we talk to our support people, the people in our life that we trust. But sometimes I think there is a usefulness to finding somebody who is uninvolved. You know, they have no stake in this thing. And it is their job to mediate or to kind of process through some of the stuff with you or assist you to do so. And, and, you know, of course, as I always say, I know that this is a privilege to have a therapist or a counselor or somebody available in one of these kinds of capacities to talk to. It's expensive, and it is, even if you can afford it, it's hard to find a practitioner and one that you connect with. So I understand that, but even so, I'm always an advocate of, you know, therapies, support groups. You know, like I say, I like to mention this because I want you to know a little bit about me, where I'm coming from. I am a person in recovery for substance abuse, and I have been for almost 10 years. And I also do 12-step, and if you don't know what that is, it's like AA, NA, that kind of thing. And so these are, you know, other kinds of places. You know, you might not have those issues, but I like to mention all these kinds of, you know, ideas to help you start your search. If it's something that maybe you've been interested in pursuing, but you didn't really, you know, you've been looking for kind of a sign. I like to be, you know, somebody that, you know, maybe help somebody a little bit, you know, make a decision towards being able to express yourself in a safe way, right? And that's important. That's really important in our lives. So, let's see. What else do we have here? So we have a butterfly, and then it looks like it's a K and maybe an F. Maybe initials, KF. Okay, so we have the head of Pan. You can see the eyes, the nose, the chin, and then the little horns here. We also have the cup. And on this side, it kind of looks like the Sacred Heart. So with Pan, if you are unfamiliar, Pan is a spirit deity, spirit god, a wilderness spirit, a wilderness deity. This is the half goat, half man. We kind of think of him with a flute and kind of, you know, getting up to all kinds of bacchanalian things in the woods out there. And kind of, you know, the well, I mean, in the story, it is kind of becoming untethered, right? To be in such ecstasy and impulse and, you know, totally relinquished of inhibition and very animalistic, primal, and all these things. But not only that, which, you know, all of that is something that maybe we should all experience a little bit here and there, right? But getting lost in it. Okay, if you know the story of Pan, you know, he does kind of fall into a sense of madness and decay and just kind of coming apart at the seams. And so, you know, to me, whenever I see Pan, I think, oh, this is, you know, this is a energy of a lot of energetic movement. This is a love and ecstasy for the divine, right? I think of kind of, you know, the ecstatic dance and the hypnotic musics and frenzied kind of, you know, encounters and movements and so on and so on. And that paired with the Eight of Pentacles or the Eight of Discs, it almost is kind of like the opposite, right? Kind of really not in that earthly mode, not paying attention to maybe the work where you are making resources, just kind of, you know, the potential to spiral out into whatever your chosen, you know, pleasure is. And with that cup, it seems to me like this could be sensuality. It could be love, you know, love, or the pursuit of love, of connection, of, you know, something that has to do with kind of these impulses through or towards delight, right? Feeling a sense of just ecstasy within your own being, okay? And again, not a bad thing, but it's just the worry here is like the need to kind of be more prudent, to stay focused on finishing the task that you are working within. The desire to do so, but then also that kind of, you know, thing that happens with some Tauruses is, you know, to kind of maybe celebrate a little bit too much, or find yourself kind of, you know, the thing I think about a lot is like getting lost in like video gaming or social media type stuff, looking for, you know, that dopamine that they say that we get from it, and ending up spending a lot of time really invested in things that are quite fleeting. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with them, but you know, we have to do everything in measure, at least try, okay? And so I feel like there's this sense of like a push and pull here within yourself. And you know, that card energy, it really does, it makes me feel like when you are in the process of learning and mastering whatever it is that you put your mind to, there is, and we see that Sacred Heart. If you don't know what the Sacred Heart is, this is usually used as like a Catholic symbol. And it is a heart that has the flames coming out of the top. It is a sign of love with the divine. Okay, that, again, the agape. Now, I really feel like when you are in a place of being devoted, when you are seeing the work you're putting into whatever it is that you love, it is, you know, there's an output there. There is, you can look over, you know, how you have built upon your skills, upon the hours, the blood, sweat, and tears you've put into something. That is where you find your closeness to the divine. That achievement is, you are set aflame there. There is just a deep belovedness for being able to bring these elements together and, you know, and see it working and see it happening, you know, coming alive. And, you know, it's not to say one is better than the other, but I do feel like at least in this period of time, there is something to, you know, kind of trying to stave off the impulse to, you know, maybe push things off, procrastinate. I'll do it tomorrow, you know, or, oh, this one wasn't that important. No, stay focused, okay? It's going to be important for you here coming up. Definitely. Do not be tempted. All right, let's see. So I feel like we almost have like a caterpillar. It reminds me of the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland, where here's the face and then kind of the body going back this way. But beholding, and it is that heart. It is the heart upside down. Oh, and also we have a person holding an umbrella, which is so funny because it just started raining and there was a thunderstorm out of nowhere. And I did not know that it was supposed to rain tonight. And I went outside to see what was going on. What was all this ruckus? And it was raining. But in this case, you probably are not in the same situation as I am. Let's see. So we have the caterpillar, right? And the caterpillar is kind of, what would we call him? Like the wise old man, well, it's not the hermit. He's not the hermit, but kind of a fool, kind of a wise old man, kind of I don't know, kind of a SH stir in some ways. But yeah, I do. I feel like there's this sense of, really just trying to look at things from this place of almost like, for some reason I'm like, is it like it's riddles, like you're looking at these situations, like I almost wonder, are you like a what is it called, like game theory? I think people that study game theory, like applying these kind of, you know, rules, these terms to reality, to these circumstances and situations that you are going through, and it seems like you have a very kind of unique way of experiencing life, but also reasoning things out. Okay, and I think that is totally to your benefit. And I like the caterpillar because he's a bit of a absurdist, which I would call myself an absurdist for sure. And the rain. Waiting for the rain. But there is none, right? There is none. So I don't know if that's something that you are prophesizing, like some kind of disturbance in your life, or if you know, right? If it's like it's like a prophetic thing. But then you can almost wonder, is this a self-fulfilling prophecy? You know, does that come into play? So I don't know. But I think you're prepared. You're getting prepared here. I like that caterpillar, though. We have another K right here. So that K name really is showing up tonight. Now let's take a look. We have a duck right in the middle. We have another bird here and another bird here. And this one definitely is a cardinal. So I know somebody who has transitioned is coming through for you and letting you know that they are here, they see you, they love you. I almost wonder if there's somebody who lived by the ocean, or they were really into boating, because we have, and it's maybe a duck, maybe it's I don't know, one of the seabirds, not a seagull, but something, you know. I don't know. I don't know the names of all the seabirds, to be honest with you, but We also have an anchor right there. So definitely makes me feel like this is a person who is in water. Maybe they had a boat. They were really devoted to their boat, or to boat life, right? And so I think you'll know who I'm talking about. I almost wonder if this is like a grandparent, maybe a grandfather. But yeah, I think that I feel like this is like your person, one of your people, but really your person. I think that really taught you some things, like practical skills, really kind of helped. I'm almost thinking like there were times where you could have really like gotten yourself down a bad road. And this was like a family member or a community member who took you under their wing, and they kind of, you know, helped you steer you away from really like self-destruction. And that's maybe why they're coming through, because it's like, hey, you have to rein it in, stay focused on what you're doing, on the work, you know. Don't celebrate too early and not too often, right? So yeah, that's an interesting energy there. I'd love to hear if the boat or anything like that resonates. Okay, we're going to take a look at our Indigo Sage affirmation cards. This is the air element. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to flip through and stop where it feels right. Okay, these are beautiful. I always think they're grapes. They're not. I think they're stones. It says, holy yes to all of you. Experience yourself from a new ecstatic perspective every moment. My goodness. Look at this card just telling me to get out of here. The ecstatic perspective. Don't oh my goodness, I love when they kind of contradict me a little bit. All right, well, Taurus, I love you and I thank you for spending this time with me. I apologize, it's just been a day. You know what, it's been a beautiful day because we had a new family member arrive. One of my beautiful nieces was born today, and I guess she's my great niece. Oh my goodness. And so that was beautiful, and then all this other stuff, you know, I gotta stay off the news, but really I don't know. I don't ever talk about that stuff on here because, well, I don't like to perpetuate the energy, but, you know, usually I'm just kind of, okay, you know, like most of us, and stay involved in my own reality. But, you know, I don't know. This one feels a little different. So I just, I'm going to get off of here and get ready for bed and do some praying, definitely. And yeah. So anyways, it's just been kind of a disjointed night. My iftar reading was a little disjointed. I apologize. I'm trying my best, I promise. But yes, I do. I love you and I thank you. And if you feel so inclined to like the video, it does help the channel. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, oh no, those two different. If you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. But other than that, if you want to leave a comment, that's right. If you want to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. I know some of you don't like to comment. You can email me. I'm available in that way. And those are the two places. Oh, also, if you are a member of the channel, that's different than being subscribed. A member is like, I don't know, you pay and you become a member and you get the perk of supporting the channel, but also we have a Discord. So that's also another way you can reach out. Let's see. What else? I think that's it. Oh, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My husband over there, Paul. Amazing. Best reader ever. If you haven't seen his channel, if you haven't seen his readings, if you don't know who he is, I would be surprised because a lot of people who come over here to watch have come from Dove and Serpent Tarot. But if you haven't, for some reason, seen him, go check out his readings. He is just amazing. So, other than that, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.